Richard, thanks for hopping on. I don't think I got back to you, Richard. You sent me a really nice letter and it was great. And my life's been kind of crazy and I get sidetracked and I meant to get back to you. So great information always. You send me super information and intel from New Zealand and I really appreciate it. So thank you. And I appreciate you being on tonight. So I hope all is well in your area on the planet. For those who, like Chrissy, are on the other side of America, I am here in the Northwest, and it started snowing this afternoon. Yeah, I can't believe it. We're supposed to have spring right around the corner. So anyway, I hope you have had a great week. Doing well, thank you. Yeah, actually, I am well. I cannot complain. I've been, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like this energy has been very fascinating in which to kind of hang out in. Sometimes you feel very energized, other times you feel tired and you just want to hunker in. And oh, that's right, autumn there, right? But it's still that energy, right? It's still that. I mean, because the spring and the autumn are very similar. It's all that energy of sometimes you feel more alive, sometimes you want to hunker in, and that's the way it's been here. And I think it's really important to really feel and appreciate and honor our bodies, right? Honor our avatars. And so if you feel the need to just kick back, please do, because we've got this global shift that's happening right now. So it's just a fascinating thing. Some days you just feel energized, sometimes you feel tired, sometimes you feel off. Now here's one that's very interesting. I was working with this wonderful woman this morning from Norway, and her cat, this is the reason why she called actually, her cat has been dealing with bladder crystals and bladder issues. Well, interestingly enough, I checked everything on the cat. Nothing was, hi Sheila, nothing was off with this cat at all, other than she was picking up on the fact that her person, her human, was pissed off. She was frustrated, and so it was translating to the cat. So it's happening, this sense of frustration or lethargy or energized physicality. It doesn't matter if we're in New Zealand or Norway and the United States, Canada, doesn't matter. This whole global shift is happening to all of us right now. So yeah, 3 weeks, or excuse me, 3 days. Yeah, it's just true. It's that time of year. I just find, well, it's bigger than that. It's not just the time of year, it's the time of man right now. It's not an old song, it's the time of man. I think so. Yeah, and Mother Nature, I gotta put my glasses on, with quakes and tsunamis here. Oh, that's true. And there was just a tsunami warning in on the Big Island of Hawaii. So not surprising that it impact you as well. So like, yes, Mother Earth is going, I'm shaking off these fleas. I'm not really liking this. Speaking of those kinds of things, before we get into everything else, because there's so much going on. You know what I heard today, speaking of things in the natural world, is, and you guys can give me your feedback on this, is Bill Gates, yes, the illustrious Bill Gates, he, how, God knows how, I have no idea, he paid somebody off, somebody, God knows who either, but he bought the world's seed bank. And I think that it resides in Norway. This comes from a very reliable source. It comes from Robert Kennedy Jr., because he is with the Children's Defense Fund. He's all about good, clean food. So this is from a very reliable source. And Gates has already taken our seeds and started twisting and turning them into GMOs. So I think it's really, yeah, it's a wow. It's one of those holy shit kind of situations. So it's one of those things I would invite everybody to, and this is not out of fear as much as out of creativity. We're going to put it into a creative sense, is to pick up some organic seeds and just have them. You can share them as gifts and cards if you want, but just have some extra seeds to have, just because we don't need to have Bill Gates do his dance, and then we can all share our seeds with other people. And literally, if we think about it that way, we are sharing pieces of ourselves. We are sharing love and light and food with others by doing this. So that's my invitation. But I heard that today. I'm going, oh, you've got to be kidding. And then I want to, let's see, I wrote down different things that I was thinking about, that I'd heard about in terms of intel. And there are what is it? What is the number? It's something really high, like 10,000. I think it's 10,000 lawyers that are out of Europe that are going after the CDC and the WHO. We love this about the pandemic and all of the nonsense on that. So people are waking up on that level. This is fantastic. And then before I got on, Kevin's not in the, you can't see him on, but there are people that watch that are not within YouTube. And he asked about the military. Now, what's interesting about is Trump coming back, because he is you can hate him or you can love him, but he is definitely one of the leaders on the planet. And is he coming back on an intuitive level? In some capacity, yes, he is. I know he is, because this plan has been in place for 60 years. So there's no way they're going to walk away from that. I don't believe that for a second. In fact, we're going to get into more of that on a kind of a cosmic level here in just a second. However, I do think things are all in its perfect timing. I mean, think about this. We've been talking about globally dark to light, and how magically this is happening right now as we move into, hi Tracy, thanks for being here, that we go right here into spring, right? We're moving and into fall, right? So I actually, for Richard, it is going into darkness. However, it's the shedding of 8% for plan long-term to remain as leader. Yeah, exactly. We do. And I'm not even Republican. But we're, think about it in terms of you in autumn. It's more about shedding the things you no longer need. So, and we are planting the seeds. It doesn't matter. We're still can gather seeds. So, very interesting time. So, today's topic, it was really fun to say, okay, what is it that we all need to face with all of this one timeline trajectory of being locked down, of having one world order, having all of our rights taken away, having to be locked down, on and on and on. We all get to live in little tiny boxes on the hillside. Remember that old song? Woody Guthrie song back in the 60s? Anyway, this is one timeline trajectory, and it's because of us that we have the ability to shift this, right? To change this trajectory. And that's when I came up with the title today, which is High Voltage Reality. How do we want to create the high voltage reality? And we do it by connecting with one another, by holding that frequency of what? Of trust. Now, this is what's really fun. And then I'll get to our card for tonight, because that's also fun, is trust. Because if we want to have a high voltage, high frequency reality, we have to trust not only the world outside of us, but most importantly ourselves. We have to trust our intuition. We have to trust that the world that we are creating is exactly what we want. And if it's not, then we have to shift this. Now, what was really, this is kind of the fun part, is I was going through words that are the synonyms of trust. Certainty. We all want certainty right now, and the world has been very uncertain for the last year, since a year ago, January. And actually, the virus, that thing, hit at the end of January, basically on my birthday last year. And then we've dealt with uncertainty. So we really want to move back into certainty. We want to deal with trust. We want assurances from each other. We want assurances from our family. We want assurances from source. We want assurances from, and I'm saying this lovingly, from our politicians, because they're the ones that are ruling the world right now and above them, right? And trusting that they're operating in our highest good. It's very fascinating too. When I thought about this in terms of a title for tonight, I really realized that, and I said this over the weekend several times, I go, I don't trust that, I don't trust that, I don't trust that. I don't trust anything I read in the media. I don't trust stories that I hear. I don't trust. And isn't that fascinating? So then, of course, it's going to be mirrored. As an example, everybody yesterday, I can't believe people would talk about this nonsense, but they were, about the fact that Oprah had a show yesterday with Harry and Meghan. And my first response is, I don't trust a word out of their mouths. And I just go, oh my God, talk about a diversion tactic. Put all the the eyes on them rather than on what's really happening. So again, I go back into I don't trust. So the key with this to create the world and reality that we all desire and want is we need to go into that concept of trust, right? So I thought these words are really good. So words for us to embrace, to hold on to. So assurances, confidence. We have to have confidence within ourselves. We have to have confidence within the world around us and confidence within our family and our community. I think this is an important aspect. And if you are dealing at any point in time where you don't have confidence in your surroundings, then it's time to reframe that and figure out what it is and where it is that that can be shifted. Okay, what can you do? What can I do? What can we do together to create a sense of trust? And we can turn off all the media and reach out hand to hand and energetically, and that will also kick it in. Conviction, another great word. I don't know about you, but I am loaded with conviction. And when you are filled with conviction on what you truly believe in, then your sense of trust goes up. Your sense of trust in what you are creating in your reality. Because we've talked about this before. We are all on timelines, and we all have individual timelines, and yet we have an overarching theme on a timeline. And we are wanting and desiring a timeline that is creating our highest and best vibrational path, which means sovereignty for all, for the quantum financial system to kick into high octane gear, absolutely, that we have freedom for passageway, we have freedom to travel, we have freedom of health, we have freedom of choices, right? All of these things, this conviction that this is going to happen, I think this is really important. Then we have expectations. Trust is all about having expectations. Expectations that things are going to happen in our best and positive good. This is, I think, an important piece right there, the expectation, because that goes into creation. And when we start expecting things in our life to go well, to get excited about what's going to come today, what magical thing's going to come today, like, oh my God, they're going to take the mask mandate off. Oh my God, those kinds of things, then we start to shift our reality. And it also goes into faith and hope. You know, it's very interesting. People have a thing about hope because it's always on a certain level, it puts things outside of ourselves. However, when you take hope and then you take it and translate it one more level into trust within our hearts, then we start creating that high octane voltage reality that we desire. Now what, excuse me, excuse me, I swallowed wrong, 2 seconds. When I look at the word trust and I put it into a noun, or I didn't put it into a noun, but I looked up the noun form of it. Now this is what's very interesting. What came up was the word moment. Moment. Trust as a noun is under moment. Now, isn't that fascinating? Moment. Because we are dealing right now in the eternal, forever present moment. And so we need to trust this moment will move and evolve into the next best possible moment. So trusting that, which goes into responsibility, protection, and safekeeping. So the more that we trust this moment, and we trust and take responsibility for this moment because we are the co-creators, then we start creating that high octane, high frequency, high voltage reality. And this is really important because if you get or you desire to create the world you want, you have to be willing to do the work. And that's what I see over and over again. Richard, I can't speak to New Zealand, but I can sure speak to America, and that we have a definite group within society that wants to give their power away and trust them to do it all for us. And, you know, they want to take the magic pill. They want to take, you know, again, it's the magic pill. It's the blue pill so that the government takes care of them and they get to have the red dress and they got to have the steak, all of that. And they have given their trust away, in my opinion. So I don't know about New Zealanders, but definitely Americans have bypassed a lot of their freedoms by giving it away, and they've forgotten how to trust themselves. And I think this is where it is so true that we have to come back to heart and back to source to trust ourselves to make the best possible decisions and quit turning our power over. So again, I'm speaking about Americans. However, I think it's probably a global thing. And now the verb on trust is to bank on. right? To bank on. And I love this because think about this. What are we dealing with right now? The reason we're having all of this is because of a global financial reset. Now, the Dark Cabal, they want to have a one world order financial reset. And the White Hats, they want the quantum financial system reset, which I feel is here, and one world order reset is here. And I feel this one is definitely on the timeline that we are all on. I can feel it, right? To feel it, but trust has to do with banking. We bank on something. And I love this. I'd like to have, I invite you, let's put it that way, to put this into your thinking when you're trusting that you're banking on that good things are coming, and then kind of let your thoughts move out from there into trusting the financial system, on the quantum financial system, to support us from New Zealand to Australia to Finland, Norway, Ireland to Canada to here, whatever. We're going to create this whole global market because we are trusting, we are banking on this as humanity, but from our heart source. So even our small group right here can make a difference from our heart, holding that vibrational pattern to bank on, to trust that this is going to unfold in this eternal, evolving, constant moment of trust. I love this moment. I mean, I can't make this stuff up. These words are all coming together like magic. It also means to calculate on, depend on. So again, to calculate financial markets, it's going to be solidly supporting all of us in the moment with certainty and assurance, with confidence, with expectation and faith. Magic, love this. It's also about imagining what it is that we desire and what we want. And this is all coming from the word trust. That's how we create this high frequency reality that we all want. Now, we have to, and the reason I focus on words a lot, I'm a wordsmith, I love words, and it's also because if you go back, and who's to say, but it's the reality, it's the Bible verses that we get right now. In the beginning was the word is sound, words have vibration. English has a very strong, why it's become the global language is because English has the more words than most other languages, and it has a vibrational pattern that was set up in it eons ago. And that's why there's so many multiple layers and meanings of the words. That's why words are so important. So when one word can translate into all these other words, if you ever have a moment, you can pull these other frequencies up because they are the same and yet just a little bit different. So they vibrate at different levels. So if you're having a moment, you can pull up, okay, I am confident. I'm giving credence to this thought. I have conviction. I am certain that this is what's going to unfold. When you read something, or when somebody comes to you with fear, or you get bomb blasted by somebody because you believe differently, you stand true in that moment of your conviction with your trust. Add in the imagination of what it is a prayer. Maybe that's right. Maybe just doesn't make it. We speak it. Each word is a prayer. I love that. That's really great, Sheila. And then we go into trust as a verb is also about imagining. So we can all imagine this world and reality that we desire. And that means that here in America, the military is going to step up. That means globally, the mask comes off 100%. So we have the full ability to breathe again and not be masked up as little robots. Enough of this. That means we're going to imagine the financial system gives money to every person on this planet to build and grow upon their lives and live their creative selves to their fullest. I mean, this is so exciting. And I'm going to segue on that in just a second. And I love this. This is not a word you hear a lot in the United States, is reckon. I reckon. I like that. It's a very Australian term. I've traveled with a bunch of Australians, and they all would use the word reckon. I go, I gotta remember that. It's really good. But I reckon upon. Now, a reckoning could be a day of challenge, right? But to reckon upon, that means you're banking on it back again. It's also about surmising things. So again, trusting something means you are surmising the situation from the higher ground. You're surmising it from the big picture, looking down, which is also very important in terms of creating and manifesting the world that we desire. And then it's also talking about taking it face value. Now, here I find this fascinating. Think about it. Right now, face value. Okay, we all want to know about value on ourselves, and value is financial. And face, think about this. We take it at face value. Right now, our faces are covered, which is where we express things. This is where we show people how we think, how we feel, how we are inside, through our faces. And you know, some of the I can tell you a funny story is that there's a man that I've known for about 33 years now, and he is not a handsome man. He's not at all. However, he has the smile that will light up an entire skyscraper. And he has so much joy and humor and comedy in his life that he just gets the party rolling. He has that countenance. Again, back to face value. We need to have that. It's not about beauty. It's not about, being Angelina Jolie. It's all about showing who we are. So again, trusting is at face value. So the more we trust that this stuff's going to happen so people can be themselves again, I just think this is so good, so good. So that's all about trust. Now, I want to go back to my card because this is really fun, and then we're going to go back through everything else. But I just got so excited about all the connectivity and the synchronicity with the words that, again, I feel when, a thought drops in that the universe is just supporting the whole vision on all of this. Again, it was like that night when I was talking to Arcturians, and then they talked about Woodstock in 1969, and then I pulled up all the songs and they all connected. It's like this. When you ask and when you get into alignment, things just line up. So trust. So tonight's card is molybdenite. Okay, I'm going to say this again. Molybdenite. Molybdenite. Not said that word before. This is what it looks like. It's kind of an ore looking molybdenite rock. So this is our gem and stone and rock, whatever, for the week. But are you ready for this? This is so cool. I've not read this. All I read was the heading, and it says a message from the stars. So this is probably an ore from off the planet, probably not Earth made, molybdenite. A message from the stars. Okay, I don't know about you guys, but I'm all ready for messages from the stars, because when we look at the chaos around the planet, we could use some good stuff, right? So let's see what this has to say. So again, this next week, what are we going to do? We're going to start looking to the stars, to the ETs and the ships that are around the planet, because they're here. And then you guys get a report on it. Okay, it says, your life is always held in perfect equilibrium by the divine natural order that exists within all creation. Okay, I agree with that. That's cool. I'm there. We're being held. Okay, that works. Equilibrium. And how perfect is this too? Because the 21st is coming up, and we are going to the day of equal light. Doesn't matter, like Richard's in the southern hemisphere and we're here, it's still the day of equality. Love this. Very Aquarian. Believing that you have somehow failed or made the wrong decision or choice is simply an illusion. Now we can look at maybe all of you, maybe there's something within your world where you feel like you made a wrong turn or a wrong decision, or we can look at this as, I always look at it as globally. Have we made a wrong decision with the election here in the United States with the false president? I don't even call him my president, but the guy who's in the fake White House, that guy. Okay, we've failed or we've made a mistake. No. It's simply an illusion, and I love this. There is nothing you need to change or fix in your life, okay? How great is this? Apart from your sometimes unbalanced perceptions, mainly your self-criticism. Okay, I can look at that in terms of myself, because I'm going, how did I miss this? How did I didn't get a chance to finish reading this, or I didn't put that connection together because of everything going on around the planet, because I'm a junkie, okay? So that's where I can get self-critical, or I can get self-critical, about, oh, I ate too much, too many calories, whatever. But you see what I'm saying? Is that we go into self-criticism. And it means it could be that you feel like you're not enough of a caregiver and you're not doing enough on that end, or you haven't taken a great, because I just know it. And so my invitation is stop with that. You guys are all doing a fantastic job. You know, we're all doing a great job. So know that you are always worthy of love and you are eternally blessed. Absolutely, we are all blessed, aren't we, though? Aren't we in this great little fabulous group? Start to accept all of who you are as you are, and you will see your life magically and lovingly transform. All is in perfect divine order. Perfect divine order, that works for me. That also, when I take it to the next picture or the next level, knowing that right now where we are in the revelation, in the revealing, that it is all in perfect divine order. Now, it doesn't get better than that, right? That we are right on track. From a spiritual perspective, yes, we are. There are no mistakes in life. Every experience is a lesson in love and wisdom. So again, we've talked about this, that we have chosen to be here right now at this point in time to be a part of this transition, this awakening. Now think about this. Let's go back in time for a second. Let's all go back to that moment where I gotta say we were on the other side and we said, okay, sign me up. I'll take this family, this body, this time frame. And again, you have a choice of 12, let's randomly call 12 different lifetimes, 12 different scenarios. I like the number 12 because it's a very spiritual number. And you have these 12 different situations, and you said, no, what, I need to be born now because I want to participate in this great revealing, this great revolutionary shift, so that I can be there, we can be there as the world transitions to this higher frequency. And I will use all the experiences, all my wisdom, all my know-how from all of my lifetimes, so that I can garner from that to be at this moment to support everybody else around me, because I remember that I made those decisions, so that we can then hold hands and shift and grow and expand into this next level. Because that's really where we are, right? This is what's happening right now. So how exciting is that? If we go back to that moment, and then you're kind of going, now we're down here in the fog, and you're going, now I did that. Why? Okay, there's a reason for this. And of course there is, because from a soul level, we all knew that it was so cool to connect. I mean, think about this. Richard and Christy, we got you guys from TikTok, right? And from Georgia to New Zealand. How great is this? There are no accidents, that the connection. And then we haven't seen Tina for a while, but she's in Canada, right? This connection. And those of us on the West Coast, and these people, and Sam in Minnesota, and gathering the troops. And Kevin's online, I know he has been. He's in California. And we're holding hands, this frequency, this grid, because we all signed up, because we've all known each other. We were all part of Atlantis. I can definitely tell the group, we've all been part of Atlantis when Atlantis went down. And so we're going, nope, we're not going to do that again. So we are holding that grid. And so we chose that. We trusted ourselves. We trusted our guidance to come back and be here at this point in time. So now that we recognize this, we're now ready to then really kick it up and go into this great raw. Don't you love that? Because I feel like it's pretty raw right now. Emotions are pretty frayed. This raw awakening, this awakening of ourselves. Excuse me, one more time. Awakening of who we really are. And this is exactly, Sheila, it's really amazing if we think about what it is that we came here to do, and what have we missed? What is there something else that we'd really like to expand upon? And imagine in your life, so that we are right now, we've been here, but we, because we're aware, are being lifted from this reality to this next reality, this higher vibrational reality. Now here's something to ponder, that our old ways of manifesting in 3D will no longer apply in this higher vibrational realm. We don't have to sit back and think about it, visualize it, create that manifesting moment, because in this new higher reality, we have it now, so that we don't have to go through the whole process. The key, of course, is trusting, believing, imagining, seeing it. And then remember when we talked about emotions a couple weeks ago and those vibrational frequencies, and the more we raise that frequency of into neutrality, and that, because that takes us into 5D. When we do that, is we move into this next level of high voltage reality, our ability to manifest becomes immediate. And how that happens comes back to the word for, I think, the next year, which is trust. Okay, really trust and believe from here. Okay, so imagine this. If you get sideways, remember we always have to talk about being in alignment, making sure that you're grounded, because we want to be on this high vibrational planet. And of course, you can ground from your pineal up to the galactic center, ground from the planet. So we have this grid, like the north-south pole of the Earth, right? So that we are connected. And when we do this, then we're in that vibration. And then when you're in that, just imagine you're in that eternal forever moment, and then you just see it as you want it to be. And then we all hold hands. Med beds will work better for people in 5D instead of 3D. Yeah, it is the work to be done. Yeah, exactly. We are shifting. That's perfect. Thank you. I didn't know about that, but we'll talk about med beds too. Is that the med beds have this phenomenal potential, but it makes sense that they would or they would do better, rather, in 5-dimensional frequencies than in the 3D, because we're still holding ourselves back. So that's why I want you to always feel yourself. You see that? Feel the difference on that? You're up here and you're trusting, and then we go into that emotional map again, and we come from this level, then we go into this high voltage reality, because again, the old ways of the law of attraction, we are going to bypass that. The law of attraction is 3-dimensional. We are moving into the eternal combustion chamber. I like that. Eternal combustion chamber of creativity, right? And trusting that we can do this. And I really see it like that, like the seeds that we talked about at the beginning, the seeds of blossoming, right? That unfolding, which is really cool. Now, here's the next piece. Imagine this high, frequency, this voltage, because you're empowered, you're electrical, you're excited, and then you combine it with this Zen attitude of love, of being Yoda, just being mellow in a positive way. I mean, it doesn't mean that you have no energy. I'm just talking about that you're at peace, you're calm, your nervous system is calmed down. When you have this combination, then that translates and equals into you, me, us, the world, being our superheroes, because it's the combination of the trust and the belief in ourselves, and the trust and the belief in the universe that it's got our back, and the trust and the belief that the good is going to overlay the darkness. And when that happens, then we can go into this Zen, very cool attitude. I'm sorry, I just had a visual. Do you remember the movie Dodgeball? And Justin Bateman, oh God, love him. He's just darling. And he played the when they were playing ball, he was one of the referees, or he's the announcer, and he was just so zen, so cool. He's like the beach hippie guy. Well, that kind of just cool, and I hate to use the word dude because I don't like that, but that kind of energy, that's that Zen. You can think of Yoda, you can think of the monks, whatever works for you. To me, it's that chill attitude with this voltage. We've got several people here in the chat that have been to my high octane Zen classes, and to me it's this combination that gives us that zest for living. And it's the combination, the masculine, the feminine, the masculine, which is the high voltage, and the Zen, which is the feminine, and combines it. Even though the world right now is trying to negate that. You know why? This whole transhuman agenda, not only to prepare us for AI takeover, all that nonsense, but it's really to take away our ability to manifest. Because if I've got an electrical grid, it's got a masculine and feminine. It's the only way that electricity works is when you combine them. It's the only way you can make babies. Two women can't make babies. Two males can't make babies. The only way we can manifest is with a masculine and a feminine. And if we neuter, we become nothing but robots. We need the masculine and the feminine. So that's why the high voltage is the masculine and the zen is the feminine. And we combine those within ourselves. We create whatever it is that we came here to do. Now is the time to let go. Let go of the fears that have held you back. And really go into, this is your work, not only for the week, but for the month, for the year, you know, is to go take your head off and really drop your energy down into your heart. We're already over in this frequency, right? We're not here anymore, we're up here. Dropping your energy down into your heart, into this surrendered heart, into the greater universe within yourself, connecting into the greater universe beyond us, right? And when we do this, life can happen to, for, and through us, right? Just like this. And when we do this, we become radically bold, we become beautiful, we become rebellious in our nature to say, no, we're not going to do that anymore. We're going to join hands with our fellow humanitarian brothers and sisters. That's what we're here to do. So we're dropping that energy down here into our heart to have the ability to manifest from that big cosmic connection within ourselves. But again, always comes back to here. This alignment, the alignment from our heart through our pineal to source. Okay, that's the only way it's going to happen. Because if you're over here, it's never going to happen. That's in this old 3D. So we're up here, we are aligned, and then we can make this through our trust and belief in the magic around us. Because now is the time to really activate this. And so this, I'm just reading off I made a bunch of notes because this was just so cool. And then here's another little piece. On one level, it can seem, I don't want to use the word fearful. I don't like the word fearful, but maybe scary, a little tenuous. And that is to leave the past behind, to leave behind the known quantity, which is what 3D represents. It's conflict, it's fear, waiting for the shoe to fall, all of those things that we have expected in this reality because it's repeated. How many different lifetimes? Another lifetime, another lifetime. And so this gives us the opportunity to step out of that and let go of the known quantity to come over here and go, oh my golly, again, it's like the lotus blossom. You know, is it going to be purple, white, or pink today? You know, that unknown quantity. So every day approach it with this excitement. Oh, I just had another idea. And also that expectation of what's magically going to happen. The other thing we all need, back to the trust issue, because again, we are leaving the known into the unknown of magic. What's important in the middle is to have a bucket of white paint. We probably talked about it. And paint over in your mind, my mind, our minds, any of the issues where trust issues are a problem, where fear comes up. Like, for example, I'm going to white out Bill Gates and his GMO seeds. You know, not good. I'm not real happy with that. Okay, so we're going to white him out and say, okay, I'm going to trust I'm going to trust Gaia. I'm going to trust Gaia to create natural seeds for us for good, healthy food. So we're going to white out Bill Gates, and we're over here, and Gaia is on our side. We are trusting this to manifest this. When we are leaving this known quantity, this is very important in terms of, again, the law of attraction to where we are creating magically. We have to leave behind procrastination. Are any of you guilty of that? I can procrastinate, especially, I resist things. So it's not necessarily that I procrastinate, I just resist things. Like right now, paying taxes. Resistance, right? Resistance to do things. And some of the resistance, this is really important too. If you are feeling resistance at all, it could be because it's part of something you need to leave behind here in this frequency, to leave behind the past. You are, yeah. And so that you can come up here. So really, when you look at things, are you procrastinating? Are you resisting? And when you look at that, if you're resisting, it could be because it's something that needs to be left behind in this old 3D reality as we move to this one. Okay, so again, we're leaving the known quantities behind. So again, procrastination, hesitation at all and anything. Take the time to look at yourself in the mirror and say, how do I really feel about this? Am I procrastinating because I don't want to do it, I'm lazy, I don't want to pay the bills or whatever? Or is it because it's something that no longer serves you? And if it no longer serves that heart opening, then it might be time to say, oh, you know what? That needs to be packed up in a box, given to Goodwill, because I no longer need that emotion. I no longer need to have that known quantity in my life. I'm willing to be open to what comes next, right? Again, resistance. We all have procrastination or procrastinating attitudes or tendencies and resistance. For example, I started up a meetup group when I got kicked off TikTok, and it's open to everybody. So, and since it's virtual, it can be, I can pull up people everywhere. And now I'm starting to resist it. I'm thinking, okay, is it because I'm being lazy, or is it because I am moving into something else I'd like to do instead? So, using that as an example, look at your own life. Is there resistance to something? It's probably because it's anchored into this old reality you don't want to keep your roots into anymore. You don't want to have, you want to be boots on the ground there anymore. You want to be over here. So this is the time, this week, this with the molybdenite, from the stars message that everything is here for us. So again, we're letting go of the known and moving into this reality, which is, I think, really good. Now, when we are over here, we have the ability to really tap into the electrical pulse of the aliveness. And the thing is to remember, you can't take what was from here to there, which means the old playing it safe, the being in fear, the holding yourself back. Now is the time to say, what am I here for? And like Sheila brought up the med beds. Imagine this. Oh my God, I just get so excited. Is with the med bed, we have the potential to take off 20 years of our lives. Oh my God, can you imagine? To be in my, early 40s. Oh my God, that's exciting. And to be an adult without having little children and having my children, who are some of my favorite people on the planet, as adults. Oh, that's like magic. So, you start, I'm thinking about this on a regular basis. I am imagining it. I'm over here going, oh, what are we going to do? Well, and we've dreamt about a lot of things as a family, as of creating this space and place for people to come to. I don't want to just call it a healing space, because that has a certain connotation. There is that to it, but this is more to me about this high voltage reality that people can come participate in. So that's what I've been thinking about, dreaming about. Again, it's this electrical pulse of what we can create. And my invitation to you is think so far beyond your box. What is something you dreamt about when you were 6 and 8 and 12 years old? What are the things that you would love to do? Maybe when you were 22, maybe when you were 30. Now, of course, these have morphed and changed because we morph and change, but there could be seeds that you planted a long time ago that are part of your inner story. It could be that you love animals so much that you'd really like to do dog walking because you just love them. Or it's that you've always wanted to learn more about plants and herbs and growing your own. I mean, the possibilities are so endless. Maybe you want to be in the secret space program. I mean, that's now Space Force, right? So traveling to other realities, other portals. I mean, think beyond, because in this reality, everything is absolutely possible. I'm thinking, another reality? That could be fun. Another planet? We've got it so good here. I've traveled enough out there. I know it sounds weird, but I know I have. That right now I want to take advantage of beautiful Eden, of beautiful Gaia. So again, think as far out of the box as you possibly can. Feel that electrical pulse and literally tap into the magnetic and the electromagnetic of the universe from the masculine to the feminine, and have it go through your body, course through your body, almost like getting hit by lightning to be in that electrical pulse of creativity. Again, this reality over here. And then the more you let go of the fear and the worry, the more life becomes wild and wise. This is what we are creating right now. And I get so excited. I get excited when I talk to you guys because I know we're all in this grid together, and staying away out of the nonsense that is being projected on the planet right now is essential. Like Sheila, for example, she's really good at watching Charlie Ward because he puts out all this very positive energy. Interestingly enough, I had just watched him when I'm on a couple different social networks, not on the ones I got kicked off of, but others, and they were saying, well, I avoid all those guys because they talk a story, but nothing has become solid yet. Well, it's because so many things are being processed right now. The key, of course, is following and listening to the people that motivate you, that keep you going. And so I appreciate you guys all being here with me. Appreciate that. Then what this does, all of this, is recognizing that we are part of this. I always look forward to Monday nights. Me too, Christy. Thank you so much. We are all part of this together. We are part of this unfolding process together. And it's the fact that we are here right now, trusting each other, trusting the process, trusting nature, trusting Earth to be all part of this situation. And when it does, and we're over here in this frequency, it literally frees us up to do what we came here to do. Now, does that mean that we all need the med beds to make this happen? No. That's just a fun exercise. Yes, we are all builders of love, exactly. Would I like that to happen? Absolutely. Will that stop me from creating? No. But the key, of course, is creating from this space. Okay, so that is my, if you feel off, go, oh, I got to get back into my light. Always use your opposite hand. I'm right-handed, so I use my left hand. Do this, right? This alignment. Make sure I've got the light above. Align this way, clear it out this space, and then go, okay, I'm not over here. I'm in this frequency now. What is it that you want to create? And then wait and watch what happens. It could be that you're watching something on YouTube randomly and there's a word that comes up that just confirms what it was you were thinking about. Or that you go to the grocery store and somebody you haven't seen in 10 years shows up and says, hi, da-da-da-da-da-da. Trust that the connections and the frequencies are going to start happening almost immediately. We are moving into a time of instant karma. Instant karma, when John Lennon wrote that back, don't quote me, it's like 67-ish, 67, 68. I remember as a child loving that song. I loved the whole energy of it. Even though I hadn't been schooled yet in karma, I knew intuitively what it meant, even as a child. And I really feel we have gone from that time in the 60s to now, where we really are in this instant manifesting, instant karma time. So what we're thinking, and why not make it this wild, raw, exciting, trust, high octane Zen reality over here, that we are trusting this, okay? We're trusting ourselves. We trust each other. I think this is also important. We always think that we're doing this on our own, but we can't. I can't do this by myself. I can't do this without you. Everybody needs to be here to hold hands. We need to create that grid. So if you're out red pilling people, send them love. Grab their hands energetically and put them on this grid work so that we are all standing up for each other's cause. Now, it may be something that is not your cause, but you still support them, and we create this grid. Okay. Now, the other thing to visualize is almost being blindfolded, in the sense that not being stupid and not knowing what's going on, but that blind faith. Wasn't that the name of the band, Blind Faith? I think it was. Blind faith of knowing and trusting yourself to follow and stay on your own yellow brick road. Okay? That's also part of this trust. Now, with that, I have briefly, I got interrupted, but I'm segueing, folks, I'm segueing, but I pulled up the Arcturians, called them up, said, hi, guys, this is what I'm working on. Of course, they already knew. And how I visualize them, okay, and because this is for you guys too, in terms of communication with those on the other side, from other planets, from other dimensions. I don't care if you are if any of you are desiring to contact and create space with other beings. This is my invitation to you, is to make sure, first of all, you are aligned, always in alignment. You cannot do it when you're over here. You have to be in alignment. Make sure you're in your light and your boundaries are up so nothing negative can CPA. There you go. They can come this direction, right? That nothing can come inside your energy field, so that the frequencies of those that you are connecting with are higher vibration. So you're reaching up, okay? So you're connecting at this level. And then you ask your alignment from your heart, your higher self, and to your literally your higher self over here, and you connect in with those who are on the other side, or again, other planetary systems, whatever. And then you go down into your heart and trust. That's how you do it, because you don't want to pick up energy from others that are at the lower vibrational levels. Now, what I'm going to share with you how I see it. I have a council, and my council, I see is kind of on the round table, like Arthur had the round table, and I'm on one end of it. So I imagine, this is just a visual, like I'm at 6 o'clock, and then we have those around us. And right next to me, I have my guide. I may have shared with this with you before. I have this higher dimensional being that has been with me since Atlantis, right? And he hasn't been embodied. And then over here, I have a higher dimensional feline. He's right here. I've shared that with you too. So they're right here. And then I invited the commander, if you will, from the Arcturian ship to join the council, so I don't always have to go to the ship. So he's now part of the council. Okay, so today's very quick message is this, and I just, because I had a short time, then my phone rang, and it's like, okay, and it was now 2 minutes before 7. I'm going, okay. So most important thought and prose for tonight's message, please. That's what I put out. And then was alignment, was gracious, grateful. And this is quick. I haven't read it. I can't speak to it. I don't even know if it gives us much in the way of feedback, but we're going to go with it. For those who are, I think everybody's here is new, but if anybody's listening to this later on, this is to the Arcturian group that I've been speaking with for, what is it now, 2 months, month and a half, something like that. Okay, this is what I wrote. We are here to support, aid, and I knew there was issues with this word. Sometimes the translation and to withhold, and that was not to uphold. That's what it was. To uphold the shift. I need to cross this out. Sorry, because again, sometimes I just knew the translation wasn't going through. Okay, we are here to support, aid, and uphold the shift in humanity's trajectory. This trajectory for this higher vibration. We have been waiting patiently for this timeline and shift as you leap forward, because as you shift, we do as well as the species and planetary system within our dimensional space. I think they've shared this with us before, that they are here very importantly, because if we don't, they don't, right? Because it impacts the entire universe, the entire dimensional layering. Everybody is connected. There is no separation. We are all one. Okay. Even though at the moment it appears bleak and some causes lost, they are only illusionary and untruths. Now, what's fun, okay, you have to understand something, is that in that crystal, it says it's illusionary. I did not read that until I read that to you. So both of these are mirroring each other, that everything is illusionary that we are projecting right now, because we're in this almost purgatory space from the 3 into the 4th and into the 5th dimensional space. So I love the fact, again, I'm reading this right now at the same time. Okay, they are only illusionary and untruth. So what we are seeing is not real. The reality matrix is dissolving as you transition out of 3-dimensional reality. out of 3D completely for a majority of humanity, and the new location of your space-time reality becomes solvent. So a majority is transitioning. There is a section that will stay on that 3D trajectory, whether it's on alternate Earth reality or if they are actually transported someplace else. Don't know that piece yet. A lot of different psychics are saying one thing. I'm only going with what I hear and what I feel to be true. So we are here holding the grids of fabric. I love that. In which to manifest this new expansion. Trust really is your theme. Feel it, believe it, and see it. The colors will become brighter, lighting your path as you go. Now, when I saw what he was sharing with me is literally, think about a piece of fabric, and if you look at it with a magnifying glass and you get down into the fibers and you get them really close, there is that grid work, right, of the threads weaving a story. And I could see them literally creating a new tapestry, if you will, holding it up as if they were holding up a tapestry to hang on to an old medieval castle to keep the castles warm. I could see them, and as you had the weavers, I mean, this is the image, you know, the old-fashioned weavers in the castles that would weave these beautiful tapestries. They were literally holding this up as the picture of reality continued to evolve and grow and expand with all of us in it. I hope I'm explaining that well. So they were holding this up for us to create the reality that we are all desiring. And there are those, yes, that are in the fearful grid that are over here that cannot handle this because they want to stay connected to the known quantity, and that's okay. I think the biggest thing for me was to recognize that's okay, because I always have had it in my head that we all had to do this together. However, that's not fair. Not everybody is ready. So that group will stay over here while all of us over here expand. So the vision for this week is with the molybdenite is it's stars are supporting us, that the Arcturians are supporting, holding up this beautiful tapestry, this grid of creation for us to create the story that we want. In fact, you know, another thing you could do is go look up, Google some old, another DuckDuckGo, only Google has bought DuckDuckGo, another search engine, so you can go look up some of the old tapestries that were phenomenal and put yourself in them and see it unfolding and what it is that you want to create in this electrical life that we are creating. Even though out there, outside of us, it looks pretty bleak, it's an illusion, it's nonsense, it's garbage. Now, it doesn't mean we cannot be responsible for our own reality. That's what I'm saying. Trust means responsibility. Trust means this moment we have to create that reality. So now I have a couple more minutes. I hope that makes sense. Anybody have any questions before I say goodnight? And thank you for being here. I really appreciate all of you. And knowing that you are out there in the world makes not only my life better, but it makes everybody else's lives around you better, because you are holding up the grid because of your faith, your trust, your love within yourself. So knowing that you're part of that tapestry is really good. So again, anybody have any questions? You can type them up really quickly, right? Type them up. Sorry, I didn't give you any time for that. I just had that thought before I said goodbye. And I'm seeing if there are any notes that I've forgotten. Courage. I love that. Oh, imagine us all on, in this reality, the life train, and we're all on this train. We've talked about this before, but imagine the life train, the train that you want to be on. What are the stops you want to stop off at? What are the things you want to do? Oh, thank you, Sheila. You're wonderful. What are that? I appreciate you very much, by the way. What in that train, what do you want to look out the window at? I want you to start visualizing this on a regular basis as you go to sleep, when you wake up. Where am I on the train? What is it that I'm here to do? What haven't I done? And yes, I recognize everybody's got a lot on their plate, but there are always minutes in the day that you can create and put forth to create the world you want. How to use the eternity symbol in this meditation. Okay, how to use, okay, imagine that. Again, the left and the right, this, what I would do, this is me, is I do this. Like when I jump on my trampoline, I do this. So I create this, the eternity sign, the symbol, because what you're doing when we do this, we've talked about this before, you're blending the right and the left brain hemisphere, so you're getting the brain to work in conjunction with itself. Then, when you're there and you come to this still point in the middle, and that is the portal into everything. It is the portal into the eternal now. It is the portal into multiple dimensions. It is the gateway. It's the doorway. It is the what do they call it? The green flash when you go to Hawaii, when you see the green flashes, the sunsets, that doorway into another reality. So it's that point, and then you've got the one part of the eternity on the left, and the other part of the 8, the sideways 8, into this juncture in your brain, and then you focus on that point, and in that doorway you open it up, and there's your meditation. So I appreciate that's a great question, Sheila. Thank you so much. I like it. I like it a lot. I send you all love and light. Thank you for being with me. Have a fantastic week. Hold on to the molybdenite. Really work with opening up that heart trust frequency, because this is where we create this reality that we want, and ignore all that nonsense. And with, this is the thing on gates, is what happened at the end of Star Wars with Darth Vader, right? He relented. He shifted. So maybe there's still hope for Darth Gates. Anyway, just an idea. So I missed whatever just came up on the screen, the last part. So love you guys. Thanks for being here. Send you out love and light. Have a great evening. Have a great week. And I'll see you next week. Night. Maybe.